To me, my dad was quiet but powerful. He was patient. He was strong. He just had a heart of gold.
He always had a great desire to be a firefighter, so even when he was volunteered to going full-time, it felt like the firemen were always part of our life. I remember on Sunday mornings, anyone could stop by and he would be making skinny pancakes. People were always welcome at our home. We would go do Thanksgiving there with the whole crew. It just felt like extended family.
He loved it. He loved the work. He loved the training. He loved the men. He loved every single thing about it.
He was my captain at Station 32, and it was a pleasure to work with him. And I couldn't have had a better mentor. He lived by what he said. He was a man of his word. He trained incredibly hard and expected a lot out of the crew. He did everything for anybody. He was a fireman's firefighter.
Even today, I think he would have stopped anything and everything for someone else.
He was always doing and serving, and then he just taught me by example that this is something you can do, but without like preaching or teaching, he just did. I just don't ever remember him not being willing to do something.
We had never really taken a huge trip. Some friends had asked us if we wanted to go to Hawaii. And so we started really saving because this was something we really wanted to do. We got to Maui and we had plans to just go to the beach the next day. But when we woke up, it was really cloudy and not really a very good beach day. So we just decided, well, let's take that road to Hana because we've heard so much good about it and how much fun it is. But we never made it all the way to Hana. We turned onto this turnoff called the Kenai Peninsula. It wasn't a beach area. It was like a peninsula where you just looked out and the beautiful scenery and the waves were really hard and big. There were these women that just came running to us and asked if we had any inner tubes or ropes or anything because one of their husbands had fallen into the water and they wanted help getting him out. Don said that he wasn't a swimmer either, but if they could get him out, he would be able to do CPR on him. So one of their other men jumped in and they got him out, and there was like this little platform. They got him out to that, and Don started CPR, but he said, let's get him to higher ground. But the other guys just wanted to do the CPR and get him alive again. But one of those big waves came crashing in and took everybody in the water. I was standing above that platform and it took me in too. And my first thought when I realized I was in the water and getting the waves slamming us against all this coral, I said, we're gonna die. And the last thing I saw of Don was he was at that platform gonna lift himself up. And I knew he would be able to do it. He had the strength to do that. I would not have been able to do that, but I guess another wave came in or something because he didn't make it up on that platform. The next thing that I know, I was just out there screaming and hollering, thank God that he couldn't take us both. One of us needed to make it, and I found myself out at this big rock. My dad said it was probably like 100 feet away from where it all happened, and the water was calm and I wasn't being shoved against this coral. There were 3 men in the other party of the people that stopped us, and I saw all 4 bodies float out to me at the rock, and I knew that Don was one of them, so I grabbed him. And I just held on to him, and I kept thinking, if I could just get him to a shore and I could turn him over. And I couldn't do it because every time I tried to get in, the waves just kept slapping at us. And for so long, I felt so guilty that I thought if I would have just thought to turn him over, that maybe that would have saved him. But a lot of the firemen told me that there was nothing I could have done at that time. But I think I still felt really guilty about that he wasn't going to go home to his daughters, and I was. And anyway, finally this surfer guy came out on a surfboard and told me I had to let go of him if I wanted to be saved. He strapped me on the surfboard and they pulled me in, and at that same time I could hear helicopters, but because I held on to Don, they were able to retrieve his body. One of the other guys they were able to retrieve, but the other two, they were never able to retrieve their bodies. It was just like I couldn't believe what had just happened. And that maybe in some way that it was my fault, because I was like, oh, he knows CPR, he can help. And he did help, but it didn't work out.
That night, my grandparents, they came and they sat us down, and I didn't know how to react. We then drove to Logan to tell my sister.
They walked in and it became very surreal, like, why are they here? What's going on? And my grandpa just took me in his arms and said, there's been an accident. And at first I couldn't really comprehend that my dad was gone. Then I remember driving home, and I remember having a very peaceful feeling that it was going to be okay, whatever that meant.
At 6 a.m., the fire department, they were on our doorsteps with 2 tickets to Hawaii for my sister and I to go get my mom so she wouldn't have to fly home alone. From that moment, the fire department was there for our family, and we could not have gotten through those times without them. They just buoyed us up. They took care of us with every single need, and it was family.
Several fire trucks from both Sandy and Salt Lake City Fire Departments escorted the plane with the body of Captain Don Arends. The tribute to this hero was followed by a water salute that seemed almost too beautiful to be tragic. Arends died while on duty, even though he was on vacation. Arends was helping a photographer who'd been swept off the beach by a large wave when another 12-foot wave washed him and several others out to sea.
This is where they were all standing, right on that little point there when they got swept in.
Every day after the accident, the firemen were there at our home to take care of us and make sure our needs were met. It was just this amazing brotherhood of people who were gathering to honor my dad. I think those were the first times that I started realizing I don't think I even knew who my dad was and how special he was.
If there was anybody that you wanted as your backup in any type of situation, it'd be Don Arends. That he lost his life trying to help someone else, it didn't surprise me in the least. That's Don's life. That's the way he lived it. That's the way he lost it. It's no surprise to any of us.
He was going to help. No matter what it took, he was going to do it. And everything was done until all of his energy was gone.
There's a handful of people that I would go anywhere, anytime, into any kind of situation and have 100% faith in, and Don was one of them. Whatever he got involved in, he did it all the way, and just an excellent individual. I'm going to miss the hell out of him.
When we learned of his death in Hawaii, I wasn't surprised how it happened, knowing that he was saving life. That's how I remember him, as somebody who would put others' lives first. and he died doing it, gave the ultimate sacrifice, trying to save a stranger, which kind of epitomizes what we're about.
When we lost him, I remember hearing about it as a crew. It was devastating. It kind of set us back a little bit. The amount of people are affected by him in his life and that showed up to pay their respects in his death was amazing.
Nobody ever left his side. Like 24/7, they were protecting him even after he died and honoring us in the same way. The funeral was just massive. There was so many firemen and policemen walking behind the truck that had him in it. I loved that he got to ride in a fire truck and not a hearse, and that his dog, who he loved so much, was sitting in his seat in the fire truck.
It was amazing to drive that engine through the funeral procession with Daisy, his Dalmatian, right next to me in the seat was very humbling. To be able to drive him to his final resting place and to watch the amount of people that come to pay their respects.
Many, many, many fire trucks came from everywhere around our state and Wyoming and Nevada. I was just so honored and proud that they were able to show up for him.
It wasn't until probably the viewing and we saw thousands of people, I thought, I wish I would have known how important my dad was before he passed away.
If he had to go out when he did, that's the way he would have wanted to go out, by saving somebody. He was a fireman, and that's what he did. He was brave, he was strong, and he was dedicated.
He was really special, and it feels really such an honor that anyone would remember that and then carry on his legacy.
The award says a lot about Sandy City Fire because they still have the memory and want his memory to live on. To think that people after 28 years want to remember and still talk about him and to carry on his example, I feel extremely honored.
I just feel so proud that they are going to remember him this way and that they're calling it the Don Arends Life-Saving Award. That's just who he was, and it was like the epitome of what he would love. And I know he's up there just smiling down and thinking, wow, I made a difference. That makes me really happy and proud that his name will continue to go on, and it will go on through someone that has excelled in their work, because he always strived to excel.
I think he would honestly be surprised at the recognition that he's getting. I don't think he thought he was as special as he was or as brave as he was. And for those that are receiving the award, I think that it means that you are also very brave and humble and have the dedication of working and saving the lives of others.